Y'all ready for this? Let's go.
Hello and welcome to the Ben James Smith podcast. Today I want to talk about something that sits underneath every investment decision ever made, but almost never appears in an investment deck. And that is this: investors do not really back strategies, they back decision makers. On the surface that sounds obvious, but in practice most operators still believe capital moves because of projections, returns or opportunity size. It doesn't. Capital moves when an investor becomes comfortable with how someone thinks. So today we're going to explore why judgment, not modelling, is the real asset sophisticated investors evaluate, and why the best platforms are trusted long before they are proven. Part 1. The illusion of the perfect strategy. Every investment presentation follows a familiar structure. Here is the market, here is the opportunity, here is the return, here is the plan, and the assumption is that investors evaluate the quality of the plan. But experienced allocators know something operators often learn the hard way. No plan survives contact with reality. Interest rates change, liquidity disappears, costs inflate, regulation shifts, participants behave irrationally. So the question investors ask themselves is not, is this a good plan? It is, what happens when this plan stops working? Because that moment always arrives, and when it does, the strategy becomes irrelevant, and the decision maker becomes everything. Part 2. Why past behaviour matters more than past success. When sophisticated investors review an opportunity, they don't actually search for a perfect track record. They search for consistent behaviour. They study how problems were handled, how communication changed under pressure, whether decisions became defensive or rational, because success can be luck, but behaviour is philosophy. You can't reliably predict outcomes, but you can often predict reactions, and reactions determine survival. Many operators think credibility comes from showing only positive outcomes. Paradoxically, credibility often increases when someone demonstrates how they navigated negative ones, calmly, rationally, and transparently. Because capital does not require perfection, it requires reliability. Part 3. Decision architecture. The highest performing investment operators rarely rely on instinct in the moment. Instead, they rely on decisions made in advance. They predefine maximum exposure, minimum return thresholds, conditions for exiting, situations where they will do nothing. This is called decision architecture. It means when uncertainty appears, behavior does not change, because behavior was chosen before emotion existed. Most investment mistakes do not happen because someone lacks intelligence. They happen because someone intelligent makes a decision under pressure that contradicts their long-term thinking. Pre-commitment prevents that, and sophisticated investors actively look for it. Part 4. The trust equation. Trust in investment is not built from confidence, it is built from predictability. If an investor believes, I may not always agree with this person, but I know how they will think, then capital becomes patient, and patient capital is what allows good strategies to work. Impatient capital destroys even strong strategies, because time horizon is often more important than return profile. So investors are not asking, will this always work? They are asking, when it doesn't work temporarily, will this person behave in a way that protects capital? That is the real due diligence. Part 5. Why this matters for platforms. The most durable investment platforms in history share one characteristic. They were trusted before they were large, not because they promised more, but because they behaved consistently. Consistency compounds reputation, reputation compounds capital, and capital compounds opportunity. So growth is rarely the starting point. Trust is, strategies generate returns, but judgment preserves them, and preserved capital compounds faster than recovered capital. So the next time you evaluate an investment or build one, remember, you are not really analysing projections. You are analysing behaviour, because ultimately Every investment is a long-term partnership with someone else's decision-making. Thanks for listening, and remember, good investing is not predicting the future. It's behaving consistently when the future surprises you.